Hi, everybody. Alright, so there's a possibility that Cliven might be getting a jury trial. Now, it's come out a red flag, and basically what it says is that his attorneys filed for Cliven Bundy to be released on the claims the government's basically holding him as a political prisoner from a jury trial. In seeking the release of Cliven Bundy on Tuesday, attorney Joel Hansen referred to Bundy as a political prisoner and said the government does not want to release him for fear it would lose the case if ever heard before a jury. Yes, friends, the Fifth Amendment seems pretty clear to me. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless the presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in the cases arising in the land or naval forces or in militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject to the same offense and twice in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any crime or case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So from that alone, basically saying there were no bombs used, guns fired, or credible threats made by Cliven Bundy, basically didn't hold up. Did he say he would stand on his principles? Yes, absolutely. But the man's kept in solitary confinement in prison without bail. Like many of his men who were involved in the Bundy Ranch siege 2 years ago. For 2 years, these men were free. Did they engage in anything that was a crime? Were they a threat to the community? No. Yet a majority of them cannot get bail, something that is offered to various people who engage in all sorts of criminal behavior. So this is basically it, folks. In filing paperwork on Tuesday, Hansen referred to Bundy as a political prisoner, though the judge that decided to keep him in jail back in February after his arrest in Oregon declared that he was both lawless and violent, and no evidence has been presented to substantiate those claims. I'm getting it ready, folks, but I have a lot open, so it's going to take a minute for this website to open. Ever since we switched to a main internet company, seems like our internet is just trash. So it's loading. I'm waiting for the documents to load. Let me see if I can't get rid of one or two of these. One sec, people. Alright, this is ridiculous. Here we go. Okay, it was on the bottom, that's why it didn't show up right away. Alright, so this is basically another paper about that. And I thought it was going to claim... Oh, here's the paper right here. Good. So here's basically the indictment. And it's from here, basically, from what I've heard, and you can go there and scroll through the pages, that they're basically making the claim that Bundy is being held as a political prisoner. So that'd be Cliven. So, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, personally, he's 75, or whatever he is. Put him on house arrest, take his guns away from him, and be done. That's what I would do. Allow for various people on the premises to have guns, but basically take the guns away from Cliven. That's what I would do. I'd give him his I don't know, what's the standard? It's supposed to be 2 years or whatever, and let him go home. I'm sure there's something the courts and the powers thereof can do for him while he's in prison. Give him LASIK or something. They might mess up on that on purpose, but anyways, I'm sure there's something they can do for him while he's there, and then they can claim, all right, well, he did this, and now he can go home. Good. Sign here. And that would be that. So, it is right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll show this again. I'm not going to go through the pages because right now my internet is junk. So, basically right now they're holding Cliven more or less as a political prisoner. And remember, because technically he was involved in a militia, that Fifth Amendment kind of does apply to him. I know it's not the funnest thing to say, but going back, there's a lot to this. I mean, he was involved in a militia, folks. I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah. And they thought that their case was actually against the federal government. Remember that. Even in the Bundy stand-up. Now, I hate to bring that out, but the Fifth Amendment seems pretty clear to me. Case arriving in land and naval forces or in a militia. Now, the government has not yet come out and said actual service time in war or public danger, but they can claim public danger, and that's what the judge basically said. So, technically, folks, without putting it on the books, it is just that. So, I'm going to try to have some kind of poll going. I'll figure out how to do that in a day or so to find out who actually thinks he'll get out and who thinks he'll spend the next 5 years or so in prison. I don't think he's going to die there. I think at best they're going to keep him there for probably better part of 2 or 3, because he's up there in age. I mean, the thing about these older folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is a lot of things I've learned in like psychology books and various things reading, is that the more and more older you get, the more and more you're entitled, and your body basically resonates with the environment you live in. And the more you change that and adapt to something different, the closer to death you actually come. It sounds crazy, but there's actually a lot to it, where when you're younger, your body can change a lot faster. It's the same thing with me, basically going from being in the suburbs mainly, and going up north. Half my medical problems, well, not half, but half my medical problems involving allergies and other things like that go out the window within about a week or two. As some of you know, when I was growing up, I had a colostomy bag, and I still have to, basically drain everything every couple of days or every day or so. But anyways, basically from that, when I go up north, every time I go up there, it takes about a week for my system to regulate, but after that, I'm almost cured of all the major problems like that. Now, the heart condition, everything else still exists, but I'm almost better up there. So it would actually be within his benefit to be returned to his Nevada ranch as soon as possible for health and safety reasons. Yeah, I know they're worried about a Bundy Ranch standoff too, where he ends up dead, but to be honest, I think if he was going to do it, he would do it by now, and that would be that. But we'll wait and see, folks. He might get a jury trial.